Yeah, that's what
Because
my girlfriend.
Our AT&T one just, I know the password, know the email. It literally just does not let me log in, but I can log out on Chris's phone, type all the information in, and it logs in. Fine.
Oh, trip out. That's a fucking trip. Yeah, Zelle Wells Fargo uses Zelle, and that's what my girlfriend has. But
I hate
my
that
bank,
bank.
oh yeah, they're not that great. Especially now that this stupid fucking coronavirus shit. Like they closed down like 2 hours. Okay, they changed their fucking schedule,
Mm-hmm.
which that's fine. That's fine. They closed earlier. But then they were just winging it. Like one day we went there because we were buying a puppy and we
These
needed to
right
pull out
here
some
are my
money.
babies.
And they go, "Oh yeah, we're closing it." It's I think they said like 4 o'clock, and we were like, "Okay, cool." So we show up at 2, and the doors are locked. And my chick's like, "The fuck?" She goes around to the other side and tries to open. They're locked, and the security guard's like, "Oh, we're closed." And my girl's like, "Well, you guys said 4 o'clock," and they're like, "Yeah, well, we're shutting down early." And it was like, "Are you dicks?"
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but other than that, I mean, not that bad, I guess. Fucking B of A sucks. Fucking
I used to have
tremendously.
Wells for my old car,
Yeah.
and that was during all of Wells Fargo getting in all that financial trouble for opening up millions of fraudulent accounts.
Oh shit.
That was during all of that time.
Okay.
So, and I would literally pay my car payment through their app, get a confirmation number and everything, and then somehow it would automatically withdraw from my account after it's already been paid.
Ugh.
And PNC had to end up disputing a shit ton of charges and shut down my bank account and reopen one because of Wells Fargo.
Oh, that's
Because it
fucking gross.
it did that for a solid 2 weeks to where it would, I paid it, and then every single day it would withdraw. PNC would put in a dispute for it. They would Wells Fargo would refund the money. Then the very next day they'd do the exact same thing all over again.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That is fucked up.
To where, well, the reason why the regulations on banking is so strict is because of Wells, because everything they were doing.
Yeah, that was a big deal. I remember that. I
So it got to
remember
the
Just don't
point
think
where
we
the
should play
branch
too much
manager
with
at
you.
PNC, her and I are
Hey,
on
don't be like that.
first name
I know you
basis
have an
because of
idea
this
of
whole thing.
parenting.
And that's why I still go to
Okay.
that branch, because she's still the branch manager.
Oh, that
And
fucking helps.
it got to the point where we had to take my bank statements for the past, I don't remember how many months it was, in fax to the other bank, which is supposed to be something that's you're not supposed to do anymore because of
Okay.
the new regulations, and ended up having to anyway
That's the one I gave
because
you.
Huh. It
Wells
is?
Fargo screwed
Nice
up.
try, mister. You
Yeah.
can't fool me.
Have you ever, oh, I mean, I don't know, it's probably a dumb question, but have you ever, overdrawn your account
I
with
think
Wells
we still need
Fargo?
a few more.
I never had an
Where should
actual
we
bank
get
account with
next?
them. It was just my car loan was through them.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah, I've
Because,
only ever banked at Chase and PNC, and I've been at PNC for years.
She said, as
okay,
many as you
okay,
can carry,
that's
so
okay,
maybe a
because,
few more?
see, like, my chick had, because of, all this bullshit going on, her hours got cut drastically.
Hmm.
And so we have
I
like
think
our
we're good
house
now.
payment,
What
like
do
our
you
rent,
say? Shall we go?
and then fucking she's got her car payment, and she was just getting like towards like the bottom of the barrel, and we went to pay our house payment, which was like almost like just $1,000, and uh, we usually rotate. Like I'll pay 1 month, she pays 1 month, I'll pay
Hmm.
1 month, and it was her month, and um,
No need to
her
hurry.
her
We're
car
not under the
payment
gun or anything.
is
I'm not cut
withdrawn
out for this crap.
automatically,
Sure you are.
and
And when you're
because
done,
of the
you'll be
bullshit
drowning
going
in
on,
job
they
offers.
skipped I think a week.
So,
Like
how do you think we're
they
gonna reach these
should have took
towers?
a
Don't
payment
know.
out the third
We'll
week
soon
of the
find out.
month, and instead they ended up taking it out the first week of the next month, and that was right when the house payment was due. And she wrote a check thinking everything was cool. She should have looked at her statement, to be honest with you, but she just didn't do it. She thought there was money in there. She fucking wrote a check, and it wasn't good. And uh, fucking Wells
wait out
Fargo
Oh,
kept
okay.
fucking trying to force the check through.
But I might
Like,
be a while.
oh, and then that
Why not check
stimulus
out the
money
town?
came in,
Mm-hmm.
and as soon as that happened, they immediately fucking made the check go through. Like, I've never had a bank do this. Like, if a check does not clear, they will hold that check until further notice, until
Mm-hmm.
you fucking, go, okay, well, as soon as that stimulus money was electrically transferred in there, it was gone. They fucking took that 1,000 and well, 1,200. So she only had $200 left, and she was just like, "What the fuck?" And she didn't even have that because they tried to put the check through 3 times and charged her bounce check fees
Oh, I would
every
go
time,
after Wells Fargo for that.
which is like 30-some bucks each time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was garbage. I was like, oh, like, you better say something about that. She's just like, I don't know what to do. Like, she's like not confrontational. I'm like, fuck that. I'll cause a scene in there.
Yeah, I would definitely dispute that with Wells Fargo because they do a lot of shady shit. But I would also look at, is it your mortgage for your house?
No, it's just a rental agreement that I have with
Oh, because it's like,
a
fuck, I
friend.
would bank with a different bank then.
See, that's what I keep telling my girl. And what happened was she had Wells Fargo when she lived because when we met, she lived a couple cities over.
Mm-hmm.
So when we moved in, she moved to my city, and I was like, so what? She goes, I need to bank somewhere close. And she was going to a small bank out in Moreno Valley at the time, and then she for some reason chose Wells Fargo. Now that I think of it,
I remember
why
you.
did you do that? But
Where's Aaron?
I don't
The
know.
Leaf
I
House.
can't tell her shit, so I just said, all right, Wells Fargo it is. And yeah, she's had problems with them pretty much since the first day. No,
Mhm.
oh, she's got a janky ass fucking card. All the numbers are on the backside, including the security numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking weird. It's like I've never seen.
That's
a card
how all
like
the
that.
new cards are doing it because
Really?
the numbers that were on front were getting so like they'd have that silver paint on the front and they get so
Yeah.
worn off that people couldn't see it. So they're just printing them on the cards. That's how my Discover is.
Oh, okay. Well, so the next time I renew my card, it'll be like that.
It depends on the bank.
Oh, okay. But it's
Like
for the most
Discover,
part.
my card's like that. Wells Fargo's debit cards are like that. It just depends on how they have their cards set up.
I don't know if I like that though. Like all on one side. Like there was a
Um,
reason why they put the security code on the back, and then so that way, if somebody glances at your card, they can't, take a picture of it or whatever and get all of the
something
information
wrong?
in one picture.
You
Like,
could say that.
it would be
Sounds like
obvious
someone
if,
smoked
like,
the kids.
I had my card in my hand
Yeah,
and someone
2 of
snapped a
them
picture
disappeared.
and then had to
They
wait
ran
for me
away
to
after
flip
this
the
creepy
card.
guy wearing black
Mhm.
Like, I
clothes
would
showed up.
probably
That's
see
hurt.
that, but they
That's
catch
what I thought.
a picture
no.
on one
It's this
with the
guy
card.
who's
It's like,
always
fuck.
stumbling around town.
that's why I
with
try to
dirty
do
clothes
electronic
and
for
coats.
everything, like Apple
They
Pay.
say he's sick or
Yeah,
something.
Apple Pay's the
Oh,
shit.
and he had some
My
kind of number
work
tattooed on
in
his
our
leg.
office
I don't like
to
the
use
sound
our
of this.
vending
I'm gonna
machines,
check
to use
it
our
out.
cafeteria,
I
to
know
do
someone who
anything in
fits
our
that
office.
description.
It's all
I'll
Apple
come
Pay or
with.
Android Pay.
Okay,
It's the way to go.
come on.
That's the way to go. Like, I try to use, fuck, even if I have to, I'll use that stupid Cash App. Like that's as far low as I'll go. Like, and actually, they're pretty decent. Like, every time
PayPal's
I
pretty
use
good
that-
too.
PayPal, yeah, I have a PayPal account. But just like some people, like a couple friends of mine, will use Cash App, and I mean, it's never failed me. And the cool shit is too is if you sign someone up with that, you get like $10.
But I hope you
Like,
haven't forgotten about
each
my
person
research.
gets $10.
Oh,
Mhm.
So
hello.
like
Todd has
we
been
just
assisting
like
me
a
with my
bunch, me and a
research
bunch
and
of my
development.
friends just signed each
Ooh,
other
that
up, and I
sounds
think I got
fun.
like 80
Count me
bucks.
in.
Like,
One
and then
moment while
everybody
I
else
run
got like 10. I was
diagnostics.
like, hell yeah, fucking
Huh.
hustle. But
Very strange.
yeah,
You don't appear
PayPal
to be
is
in
what
my
I use
database.
for
And that's
PlayStation
bad?
Store
There
all the
must have
time.
been some sort of server.
I use my
because I don't-
debit card.
Oh well.
Man, that's scary. I get stupid when I do that. Like, I end up
Well,
buying shit.
there was one time that PlayStation, I bought Jedi Fallen Order, and for some reason PlayStation took out my membership as well.
Oh, the
And
Plus membership?
at the same time,
Yeah.
like literally the next day after I bought that game, and it wasn't due for another 2 weeks.
Whoa.
It's done that a couple different times, so where it says that my PlayStation Plus is inactive anymore, but it still says that I have like a month left on my membership, and then I renew, and then it's fine.
Dude, I was thinking I had that problem, but I crossed it off to me fucking tripping. But
No, I think it's PlayStation does some weird shit like that.
I had a 3-month
So
thing, and they fucking, I swear to God, it shorted me like a week, or at least 2 weeks. Maybe. I don't know.
well, with mine, I had to end up going to buy $100 worth of PlayStation Plus cards, like the PlayStation like store cards,
Yeah.
to pay the balance because they locked out my debit card because they basically overdrafted my debit card with it.
Yep.
And
I had to do the
they
same.
locked out my PlayStation account until I paid the difference because of their error.
Yep. I had to fucking buy a fuck ton of fucking PlayStation cards one time. Just same shit. And all the ones at the store because it was late at night, and the only fucking store that had them was this one store, and they had like a stack of $10 ones. So
That's all they make is $10 ones now.
Oh, dude, it was so stupid. I had to sit there on the phone with this dude in Argentina and tell him the fucking the redeem code, and each card I had to repeat for him like 3 times, and I was just like, fuck, like this is gonna take forever, dude. And yeah, like I think it was somewhere along the lines of like $250 or some shit like that. It was, put it this way, I had a fucking like 1/4-inch stack of fucking cards, and I was just like, oh, someone's shooting me. And they wouldn't
Holy
let me get
shit.
What's that?
Gas down the street from my house is $1 flat.
Oh, fuck that, dude. That's too
Plainfield, where I have to go pay my car payment where my parents live, it's $1.29.
Fucking jealous.
Up where like the real ritzy area is, where Chris's parents live, it's $1.51.
That ain't shit, man.
I got gas last week. Like if we would have went going north from my house, it was $1.20, I think. And then the way we were going, which was south, where I got gas, it was $1.49. So that's literally 5 minutes driving each direction, the difference in gas price.
God damn, what the fuck, man? Yeah, like, but you know, like, I sit there and bitch about $2.85, like, whereas, like, a month ago, it was, like, twice that, I think. It was almost hitting the $4 a gallon mark.
Mm-hmm.
It was high 30s. And it's like, I haven't seen the $2 mark since I was fucking 25. Like, I'm fucking stoked. Like, and then I hear your price, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, when I got gas that day, I filled up for $18 and some odd cents. I've not done that since fucking high school.
Oh, man. Yeah, those were the good old days.
When my freshman and sophomore year of college, when I was driving 3.5 hours to school, and I used to come home every single weekend, I was driving a Mustang, and that's when gas was like $4 and almost $5 a gallon.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's fucking. Oh man, and what'd you get to the? How many miles to the gallon in a Mustang? Fucking,
Like 13.
Yeah, not.
It wasn't very good. It literally took me a full tank to drive from like Springfield, Illinois to Indianapolis, which is 3.5 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Or it'd be Indy to Chicago, same distance. Take a whole tank of gas.
God damn, dude. And you drove that every weekend?
Yeah, I used to date somebody that lives back here in Indy.
Oh,
And I was an athlete, so if we weren't at meets and whatnot through the weekend, I would go to practice and class throughout the week, And then if we had Saturday practice, I would wake up, go to practice in the morning, then drive home. And then be home Saturday, and then leave Sunday night and drive back to school.
Jesus Christ, that's savage as fuck, man. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I used to drive from like inland California to like Long Beach,
Mm-hmm.
every weekend, and that's only like an hour and a half if there's traffic. Like, that's half of what you were driving. I couldn't do it. I'd fucking lose my gut. But then again, I imagine traffic wasn't that bad either. Like,
It was all
traffic,
country interstate for the most part.
not bad. Okay,
What are you doing, Sammy?
maybe I could do that.
Sammy, why are you scratching the wall?
Your dog's name's Sammy?
That's my cat.
Oh, okay. I was like,
My
shit,
dog's name
wow.
is Dominic.
Dominic? That's fucking awesome. Yeah,
And my other cat is Havana. We have all like human names.
yeah, I like doing that shit. Like, we just got, except for we got a chocolate lab, and I named Muggsy.
Oh,
But,
my mom has a 120-pound chocolate lab. We call him
shit.
Bo, but his real name is Bocephus.
Oh, nice. Was he fucking a big puppy? Like, did he, like, when he was a puppy?
When he was a puppy, he wasn't that big. We got him a week apart. So my boxer I had passed away, and
Okay.
I had him for 6 years. We went and rescued a little pit bull puppy from the shelter, and so we got her. She was 6 weeks old, like normal puppy size. We got Bo a week later for my mom for Mother's Day, and he was 6 weeks old, about the same size. And now Demi's like 70 pounds, and Bo is 120 something. He's big.
Yeah, man. Dude, this dog, we got him at 8 weeks, I think. It was like
Mhm.
7.5, 8 weeks. And they were telling us that he wasn't the runt, but because there was 10 puppies, and in order for all 10 to be healthy, they had to bottle feed a couple of them, and because they just weren't getting a shot at mom, so they bottle fed 2 of them, and they used a formula that they use for like farm animals, like to like beef them up. And so this fucking dog like had paws like the size of my fist. Like, it was crazy.
That's how Bo is.
Yeah, he's got big paws. Like, dude, this fucking dog. Like, it's funny. Like, 'cause he'll sit there and like put his paws on my forehead. Like, 'cause he'll jump on my bed and he'll like sit there and like put his paws on my head, and it's like somebody just fucking open hand slapping me almost. Like, I'm like, holy shit. But yeah, he's gonna be a big boy, man. I can't wait to see, like, he's already like 10 weeks now, and he's fucking big. Bigger than what I remember when we got him.
Where are you
He was a
going?
small little guy, but yet big for being 8 weeks. But yeah, my mom has a golden retriever, and that's why I was asking. And yeah, Sammy's a wiry little golden retriever.
Or Sam. I call my cat Sam, Sammy, Samson, Samuel L. Poos Poos. What? As soon as I said Samuel L. Poos Poos, he looked over at me.
He was like, "What's up?" He was like, "You rang?" Yeah.
Like, he came from, him and our cat Havana have the same mom, just different dads, different letters. And she's a big ass Maine Coon. He's not as fluffy as what she is.
What's the age difference?
A year.
A year? Okay.
What, Sammy? Meow.
Yeah, I've only owned 2 cats, and they were both tabbies, and one was dumber than a fucking box of rocks.
Oh, these 2 were fucking smart.
Dude, that's awesome. Like, I had one smart cat, and like, I can't really have cats because I'm allergic to them, unless like I've been around a cat for like a good amount of time, then I get like
I know this
Bill
place
chat.
is off limits to
But
grown-ups.
the first
but if we
fucking
wanna
month is a
rescue
rough
them,
one. Like I get all fucking
we gotta
like,
break the rules.
rashes and like, oh man, can't breathe out of my nose. But after a while, it goes away. But anyways, I got this tabby, and he would actually play fetch. I'd like roll up I'd ball up a piece of foil,
Aries
and
come
I'd
to
just
help.
like huck it across
Yeah,
the
leave
room.
it to us. We'll
Run
take care
and
of
go
it from
grab
here.
it, just bring it
But
back.
there
And I
are
was like,
monsters
"Oh,
out there."
that's
Don't worry.
I love when cats do
I've
shit
brought
like
a
that.
super strong friend along with me.
Since
But-
we had the dog
I used to be
first,
a soldier.
and then we got the
So
cats
where's the
later,
guy?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
they
He
grew up
disappeared and we can't find him.
almost like
Right
dogs
now, let's worry
instead
about the kids.
of being
Oh,
cats.
Because they
So-
went from a younger age.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And with Dominic being a pit, you know, they're real playful all the time.
Yep.
So
Hi- Is it
he
high energy? Like,
sometimes he can be.
Okay.
So the cats will play with him like dogs. They'll play with each other like dogs. They eat the dog's food, they eat their cat food, they eat human food. They
Oh.
love French fries.
Oh shit. Okay.
Meow.
Yeah. French fries are like the fucking like total cat food. I had zucchini. What? I just waited all this time for an Iron Banner match and it fucking gave me an error, honeydew. Go fuck yourself, game. Are you on Destiny?
No, I'm playing Final Fantasy right now.
Ah, nice. Nice. Yeah. Freaking, I've been trying to, get some stuff done before reset.
They ran off this way.
I need to
Be
get
careful.
a forge now that I think about it. Screw Iron
I
Man.
gave up on the forges.
The only reason I am not is because I want to get
knows?
that
They're
fusion
kids.
rifle.
Nothing
Plus
to do
for
but
that,
look all over.
I just hope we find them in time.
The which
square
rifle?
ass- No, the fusion rifle, the square one, what's called the Joltoon or something like.
I'd have to look. It's red and
It's,
black, isn't it?
exotic.
You sure you want to
Huh?
fight?
Oh, it's an exotic?
Yeah. it's an
Oh, the
exotic.
Jotun?
Yeah.
Fucking little toaster.
Yeah, that's what I was like, yeah.
No holding back.
I was calling it the toaster last night, and people were like, huh? Like, fucking know what I'm talking
It
about.
looks like a toaster.
I agree.
God, that's over.
I agree. I was like, man, why are people making me feel like I'm fucking weird for calling it that?
I mean, Jaeger calls the Warcliffe coil the waffle iron.
Yeah, and I don't see a resemblance.
Yeah, I don't
I'm in a
either.
rush, so
Like, I'm crazy. I don't see
I mean, I call the Midnight Coup the Midnight Poo because it's garbage.
that. That makes sense. See, like, even that, like, I get it. Like, shit, I think of the Wardcliff, I think of a fucking janky microphone. Like, it looks like a janky 80s microphone.
moving
And
on then.
then I hear, yeah, the waffle iron, and I'm like,
Ah, there they are.
it's one of those fuckers, like,
And
a
they're not
spear
alone.
shape. Like, I don't know.
Did you ever play the game Portal?
No, I didn't. It only came out for Xbox, right?
That I'm not sure.
Leave this to me.
But I know that's where the,
So,
tractor cannon came from.
so long.
They literally
Yeah, I
took
do remember
that
that.
gun from that game.
Okay. I remember that. I remember that gun on point. Like, I never played it, but I've seen enough about it to know what that is. And especially Rocket
Nothing
League,
to it.
because I play Rocket League, they got a lot of Portal
Bring it.
stuff you can unlock. And, yeah. That's how I learned a little bit about that game.
You're done.
And I heard it was not a bad.
Yeah, I heard it's a really good game.
Is it an indie game or is it like a big developer like that?
I think it was a big game,
Quickly, we gotta
Okay.
save them.
All right.
I just
but it came out
Remember-
like years ago.
yeah, I just remember shit. Portal 2 came out years ago.
What, little boy? Meow.
Oh, I need to fucking smoke this bowl before I.
So I had to go to fucking Tractor Supply yesterday to go get fucking flea meds for my dog.
Oh shit.
I found he was laying on his back, and his stomach is all white. He's a fawn-colored pit.
You see those fuckers scattering all over his stomach?
I saw one crawling on his stomach. I said, "What is that?" So the next morning, we went to Tractor Supply and got flea meds. And it says it takes 24 hours to kick in, and I still saw one crawling on him this morning, and I was like, really?
Is it the stuff you put like under the collar?
Yeah, it's at the shoulder blades.
Yep. So I've had some good luck with that stuff, except my one dog at the time was a golden retriever, and she passed away now. But at the time, she was really allergic to things. Like she had really sensitive skin, and she ended up breaking out. I had hot spots because of it. And then the fucking vet put her on some like meds to get rid of them, and we found out later that she was allergic to the meds, and she almost died. Like it was fucking scary. But like I don't know, you just gotta be careful with that shit. Like, a lot of the store-bought stuff's like I've had good luck with the heart stuff. The heart's brand. If you guys have that out there.
We got the bear one.
Okay.
Because Chris had a pug, and he just recently passed away, and he was like that. He was super sensitive, and he could only use the bear stuff.
Okay. Yeah. That's... See, like, that was the thing, like, we used something from, like, Petco. I forget what it was. It was so long ago. And we used that, and it didn't get rid of them. And then... Or no, it didn't get rid of them. And that gave him hot spots. And then we went to the vet, and the vet gave him some, like, pills that we had to basically... There were capsules, and we had to pull them apart and put them in his food. And, yeah, that ended... Like, he ended up, like, getting, like... He'd lay down, he'd take 2 steps and lay back down. His breathing was real shallow. And it, like, I was fucking tripping. I was like, if they fucking killed my dog, that's really bad. And we happened to get him to the vet in time, and they gave him a shot to pull him out of, like, he was, like, in, like, a, what's the fucking diabetics go into, like a shock. Like, he's in, like, a sugar shock almost.
Well, you see,
But,
Cloud here used to be a soldier.
yeah, so, she was just really sensitive to fucking whatever was in that flea med shit, and then ended up using hearts, and that was the way to go. Ooh, shit. But, yeah, man, we had when we bought the chocolate lab just recently, we got it in between its shots, so it had its first set, and then it was due for its second set, during week 10. And fucking, he happened, the day after we got him home, he caught Giardia, which is like a parasite.
Well, this isn't good.
And he had diarrhea really bad. It was fucked up. But the breeders ended up paying the vet bill and everything. So it wasn't bad, but man, cleaning up. And he couldn't go outside until he got his shots, his final shot. So for about 2 weeks, he had to fucking, stay inside. And he fucking had diarrhea. It was the worst.
Look at you, Mr. Popular.
Like, I had a bunch of those puppy, like, pads, those puppy pads, and fuck, man, bless his heart, he'd try to, like, squat on it to go poop, and his ass would just hang over the end of it, and you'd get, like, the poop halfway on it, halfway off of it, and I was like, fuck, at least you tried, man. If the guy doesn't even know he's missing.
The only time we've ever really had to deal with fleas in this house is when we first got our cats. We got them from my brother, and they live out in the country.
Yeah.
And they gave them
Were
to
they
us
born
with
outdoor?
that I don't know.
Okay.
They kept them in their garage, but they gave it to both the cats to us just like full of fleas. I was so pissed.
Yeah, that's no good, man.
Because we
Like,
had
that's
the dog in the house as well. But this past winter, it didn't get really cold at all. It maybe
oh,
snowed a
okay.
couple times,
Um,
and so the
what what's
fleas.
uh what's cold like? Because I'm Southern California, I fucking have no idea what cold is out there.
So cold to kill fleas is like 30 and below,
Tifa, wait!
Oh shit, okay.
Tifa!
Did not know that.
Tifa.
and
Tifa?
it got maybe down to 0 a couple times,
Nothing.
but for the
Is
most
Tifa
part,
like
it was very mild,
your
like 30s.
No,
Oh shit,
Bet
okay.
she's someone special.
Just on
it's not like
average.
that.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Okay.
usually not like
More
that.
like,
And so I feel like all the bugs and the fleas
I
this
don't
year are
know
going
how
to
to
be really
explain.
bad.
I see.
Oh man. Well, yeah. See, like that's the thing too about fleas. Like, where do you think these ones came from? Like,
No idea, to be honest.
but he wasn't like infested. You said you just saw like one, right?
Yeah, I've only found like 2 or 3 on him in the past couple days. We
Yeah.
just
See,
put
like
the stuff on him yesterday.
it sucks because like if you see one, you know there's
There's
you
more.
know yeah. But
Yeah.
man, like it's bad when you like flip him over and fucking you see like a swarm. Like that's I
That's
fucking
how the cats were. Like you would Havana was she's long-haired, so she's real fuzzy, and you'd like pull apart her hair and you'd see a few of them crawl and you're like, "What the fuck, dude?"
oh man.
So
Yeah,
we had to
that's
treat her with
From now
fleas.
on,
Like
if you run into trouble, promise me
we
you'll
had to
find an
wait a
adult,
little bit
okay?
because she was
Okay, I
not
will.
enough
And here,
weight
since you're
for
so
flea
good,
meds.
you guys
So
can
we had to
right.
play with
basically
us, but
try to
you're
fatten
also
her
gonna
up as
bust me.
fast as possible to
You
try
can
to
come and
get her
play
on
here
flea meds.
whenever you want.
Yeah, that's fucking yeah, that's a trip, man. You have to, you know, because that shit's dangerous for them if they're fucking underweight.
Hmm.
It's fucking bad news. But like, could you imagine, dude? Like being infested with fleas, like how like their stomach has a bunch of them running around. Like just imagine your stomach and a bunch of fleas,
Wait.
fucking, dude. I fucking unreal. Feel so bad for fucking cats and dogs.
Not him.
Fleas, like,
He looks pretty damn
that's gotta be
similar.
fucking torture.
There's the number. But
When
what?
I
Who knows?
lived with when I was like really little with my parents when we lived in town,
Yeah.
we used to have to treat our house for fleas every year, like do the flea bombs and everything every year. And it's like
And
once we moved out of town, like kind of in the country, before
yeah.
it started building up out there, we never had to treat our animals for fleas whatsoever.
So in the country, you never did, but
In the
in
city, we
more,
did
that's, I would think that would be the other way around.
because there's so many people around.
And just
You
what
don't know
people
who
that don't take
Sephiroth
care of
is.
their animals or something.
Hmm.
Do you?
Wow, that's fucked
Sephiroth,
up.
the war hero? I know he
Like
died in
that
an
sort of
accident
makes
5 years
sense now
ago.
that I think
They
about
said
it.
so
But
on the
shit,
news.
man, people just need to
Maybe
fucking
they did.
take
But
care
I've
of
got a
their
feeling
fucking
he's still alive.
animals. We have a big pit bull problem out here.
Oh, right.
Fucking families
Come on,
will
let's go.
get a pit bull
Hmm.
and not realize like either A that that dog's gonna cost
My
money
dad
like
told me
to
that
fucking
man, he used to
you
be a
know get
soldier when
shots
he
and
was younger.
feed and they end up either getting rid of it or they're such fucking pieces of shit that they'll just let it go somewhere. They'll drive like a few miles away
Hmm.
from their house and let it out and fucking which is the worst fucking thing you can do.
My cousin's
And
ex did that to their dogs.
oh man, like I fucking feel so bad for dogs that have that happen.
My dad told
Like
me that man,
that
he used
that
to be a
shit's like
soldier
not their
when he
fault,
was
you
younger.
know, and like ah, that makes me want to fucking do that to the fucking owner.
I was
Fucking
just
just
reading one of my friends posted on Facebook the other day, basically shared his ex-wife's Facebook in their custody battle. She won custody of the kids and the dog, and as soon as she got the dog, she put it up on Facebook for sale, said that she can't keep it.
what
Hmm.
what a piece of
When
shit.
when he could have kept it and it would have been fine.
Dude, if my girl ever does that, I swear to God, I'll fucking, oh man, I will fucking torture Car. I'll do something. Like,
Because
how how can
it's real
somebody be
fucked
so
up.
petty?
People do shit like that all the time. Do you know how many times I scroll through Facebook and I'll see like people like trying to get rid of their dog for some of these stupidest reasons? We had a kid, okay? The dog came before the kid. The dog's gonna protect your kid.
Yeah, yeah, that dog is a fucking investment on so many levels that I mean,
My dad
it's
told me
like
that
you
man,
take care of
he
that
used to be a
thing and you
soldier when he was
fucking, you
younger.
know, and it's not hard to be honest with you. It's really not.
Hey, Cloud.
You
I
just,
know a
it's
lot of
common
people around here
sense
need
and
help.
fucking a
When I'm out
little
on
bit of your
patrol, a
time.
lot of them
If
tell
it's
me
a,
about
you
their
know, like,
problems.
and
Do
what
you
the
think
thing
you
is
might be
about pit
interested in
bulls
helping out?
is
Well, I'm
they're
all for
fucking
it. We still
great
have plenty of
dogs. They're
time.
loyal,
I'm on the
super
clock.
loyal.
They're
And
really good with
I'll give
kids.
you
Really
permission.
good with kids.
I
yes,
always have the latest
but
information.
these fucking
Come find me if you
assholes
wanna know.
that get them don't fucking understand how to train them or whatever, and they're never around long enough to actually teach them anything. So they give up on them, and they just, you know, they hardly feed them. They're in the backyard being ignored, but then
Sit.
they have a family get
Sit.
together, and the little fucking
Sit.
the little infant tries to ride him like a horse, and the fucking dog doesn't know what's going on, and it spazzes out and bites the kid because
Mm-hmm.
it's scared. And then the fucking family's like, "Oh, the dog's fucking crazy," and then they take it to the fucking animal control and they put it down because it's a fucking pit bull, and you know it fits the criteria of a fucking dangerous dog, which it is because it hasn't been brought up right. And I think that's fucked up. I think that shit is fucking. I think they should put the fucking.
So
owner
I've
down.
had pit bulls for a long time. We've only ever had to actually put one down for getting
what?
getting in a fight with another dog, my brother's other dog, because my brother is not the best human being and is a little abusive
Oh
to
shit.
to everyone. And he had Jada, his Rottweiler, over there, and we had Zeus, the pit bull, that lived at my parents'. He moved out with his wife and kids and got a Rottweiler and would bring her over. And sometimes they would just get playing a little too rough because Zeus was a pit bull.
Right.
It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
And Jada apparently snapped at Zeus, and Zeus didn't take it very well, and Zeus bit her. And
man, then
we
it was just
had
all.
it, so he was fine for a while, and then we had, like, at my parents' house, at one time we ended up having 4 dogs, and there were 4 different breeds. One of them was a black lab, and he was super old and super grouchy, and he snipped at Zeus for like, got really aggressive with the dog for no reason one day. And like, my grandma, who is now 90, lives with my parents, and she was trying to break up the dogs, and she got bit. I got bit trying to get grandma out of the way, and so we ended up having to put the dog down
Oh, that sucks.
because it bit my grandma.
Yeah,
And that's
but
a
I
big
mean,
no-no.
yeah, I was gonna say at that time, you know, like, yeah, that's the fucking right thing to do.
So we ended up putting both dogs down.
Oh, you put both of
Oh
them down.
my,
Okay,
is that a
yeah.
Moogle?
I
You
think
can
that's
see
fair.
Moogle?
I mean,
Then you two must be
So-
very, very
like-
special people. In that case,
Like, and then,
I-
but ever since then, I've always had aggressive dogs. I've had boxers
You
or
must
pit
not be
bulls
familiar
ever
with
since.
Mog the Moogle.
yeah.
It's a pretty famous
But
fairy
I
tale.
mean, as long as you
Mog
fucking,
wanted to
like
bring happiness
Rottweilers,
to all
pit
the
bulls,
Moogles of the
even
forest.
Dobermans,
So he
like if
decided
you
to open a shop of
fucking
wonders.
put in the time
that's
with
right,
them, dude,
Kubo.
they will
I
be
opened
the
a store to
best
bring
fucking
happiness to
dogs.
the
Like
slums, like
I,
Mog.
I myself
And you
stick to
know,
golden
only
retrievers,
people with the
and
purest
that's
of
just
hearts can even feed
because
Moogles.
sometimes with my work and everything, I don't have
You
the
talking about
time
me?
to
Well,
fucking
Moogle magic isn't
to
perfect,
make
Kubo.
sure that, you know, like I
Anyway,
train my
we've
dogs,
collected all
but
kinds of rare and
you know,
wondrous
like
goods.
golden retrievers,
They can
they're
be
almost,
yours if you've got enough Moogle
you know,
medals.
they almost know what the
But you'll
fuck's
need to
up
buy a membership
Mhm.
first.
like automatically. It's very fucking minimal to fucking train one of those dogs. And with my work schedule, that's kind of what I need. And it's like I can have that dog trained and not feel guilty about uh, working long hours. Like, you know, he's taken care of. He fucking, I have a dog door, so he can go inside and out whenever he wants. And I just make sure that he has food and water and, you know, some toys. And when I come home, I give him attention. But, you know, like, for the most part during the day, he's straight. Like, he just fucking, he kicks it outside and watches the squirrels run across the goddamn telephone pole. And then, you know, when I come home, he's just stoked. And we'll go for a walk or something. And, yeah. Like, it's just, I watch some of these fucking families out here with pit bulls, and they're so fucking just unmanageable. Like, they can hardly keep it on a leash. Like, it's dragging them around and shit. And it's like, if that dog gets off that leash, it's fucking gonna hurt somebody or something. Like, that's just like my worst fear is like having a pit bull either hop a fence that isn't trained and come like at my dog or at like my girlfriend or something. Like, fuck. They're everywhere out here. But like my friends have pit bulls and they're fucking great. I love them. Oh shit. Man, I gotta fucking get a new fucking Forge game because the people that I'm playing with are garbage. Get out of here. Actually, I should be leveling my guy up. Shouldn't be in here right now. Where is...
If you find any Moogle medals,
There's
you can send them
Forge
here.
armor?
So, Moggy, what do
I
you
did
do
not
with the
know
medals
that.
we give you?
Oh, you know what? I
It
use
looks
them to
weird.
Make everyone happy. That's the duty of every
The
Moogle.
Titan helmet's pretty,
Of course, just like Mog the
No,
Moogle.
I usually only play as Warlock,
okay.
and its armor looks weird.
I see you're working hard, Mr. Merc.
Yep.
Let's see.
So what are you gonna do next?
Keep on working hard.
I want to get
As
the
you always do, I'm
auto
sure.
rifle, I think.
You know,
I really don't want
This
to drive
is
all the
where
way
I
to the
live.
other side of town, but I have to.
Really?
How
I
long
thought you
will
were
that
just
take?
doing it for fun.
30 minutes just to
I
drive there.
suppose some people do.
Hello, I'm some people.
So an hour
Nice
both
to meet
ways.
you.
And depending on traffic. Because with all... The city took advantage of the lighter traffic around the city to start doing all these projects. So...
Oh, like right now, like with the shit going on?
Yep.
Oh.
So like the
wow.
main road, like Highway 40
Uh-huh.
that goes through like most of the country, it goes through the middle of Indianapolis. And on my side of town where I live, they have it completely tore up.
How many lanes both ways?
On my side, like it's 2 lanes, or technically it'd be a divided 4-lane road. In downtown, it's 3 lanes on part of it, then it goes back down to 2, all the way out into Plainfield where it's a divided 4.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, and is that, and like, on average, is that during the day congested? Like, when you... when
It
you
can
hit
be,
city?
because there's a shit ton of lights on the road.
Okay. Gotcha.
But back in the day, like you've heard of Butler University for basketball, correct?
Yes.
So the original Butler campus before they moved it was down the street from my house. And they used to have the old cable cars that went, like the trolleys that went through the city.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the road, they all used to be brick, and then there's those rails right in the middle of the road. And
Yeah.
in the wintertime where it will freeze and thaw and freeze and thaw and it breaks up the concrete, you can see straight through the concrete. They just put pavement over the bricks and the rails. It didn't tear any of it up.
Oh shit.
So you can see they're going through right now and repatching it, and they're supposed to be putting a high-speed like bus going from one side of the city to the other side of the city, and they're supposed
Is it
to
gonna
tear.
run off the Is it gonna run off the track like the trolley track, or are they actually
They're
just...
gonna tear up the
Okay.
whole entire road and redo it from one side of the
Okay.
city to the other side.
Yeah, we have something similar along those lines. Like it's a stretched bus, like
Mhm.
fucking San Francisco and New York use them, and it has its own in the middle of the I kind of hate it because it's in the middle of the fucking road where the 2 lanes, because it used to be a 4-lane total road, 2 on each side, and they ended up making it 1 lane for regular traffic each side, and then the middle 2 lanes are for the bus only. Like it's you can't use those lanes, and you can't, at those intersections, you can't make left turns. You have to make a right turn and like make a U-turn and then go straight through the intersection.
That's how it is here.
Pain in the fucking goddamn ass, dude.
But all the bus
Hate it.
stops are in the middle of the roads here,
Yep. Same here.
and ours, they're electric buses.
Oh,
So
shit,
where the
okay.
bus stops are, you know how like with your phone it does like the wireless charging?
Yes.
It has wireless chargers built into the ground. So when the buses
Oh.
go across it, while they're sitting there, it'll charge a little bit, and then it'll move on to the next station, charge a little bit there, then move on to the next station.
Oh, that's pretty fucking cool. I mean,
They built
Pretty-
the original
pretty
one
dope.
that we have right now. It's called the Red Line. It goes from the north side of the city all the way to the south side,
oh,
and
shit.
it's not getting as much traffic as they intended. The one
Okay.
that the blue line that they're talking about doing from east to west would
Yeah.
take everybody on the east side where I live, give them the ability to go to the west side where all the warehouses and the airport are, where all those jobs are.
Okay, so it's a job commute, basically.
They should have did that one first.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds... They're always stealing bus passes.
Doors open on the left.
He fucking sells fucking counterfeit, fucking bootleg fucking passes and shit. Fucking we had the same problem out here, except we're fucking idiots, and our buses are powered by natural gas, and
You finna
they're
explode.
fucking, yeah, pretty much, fucking, and it's like, you know they're gonna eventually go electric, and it's like that's gonna cost more money. Like our city's already bankrupt. Well, no, not the state, our county. Well, San Bernardino County. Oh well, fucking it wouldn't surprise me. I lost interest when fucking we went bankrupt. But like, San Bernardino County is the largest county in America, and it's one of the like poorest counties too, and we're straight up bankrupt. Our fucking mayor, or the last 3 mayors, have fucking fucked this fucking city up so bad. Like the one we have right now is having to resign for sexual harassment, and but the other one fucking was doing like shady fucking dealings and shit, and like allocating money to like dumb shit. And well, like our governor, I think I was telling you about it. Dave Chappelle was calling him Batman. Batman help. Batman help. That shit was so funny. But yeah, dude, like I don't know, man. Like for some reason they thought it was a good idea when we have potholes that your whole fucking tire will fucking like sink into. Like,
Oh, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom size pothole.
Oh yes, it'll dent your fucking rim if you hit it just right. Like,
I
it'll
hit one the other
seriously-
day, and my car has a vibration now. I'm pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, like, we got that shit going on, like, everywhere. Yet, let's fucking put a bus line in that fucking, like, 10% of the city uses. Like, it's, I look at those things, there's, like, it's a stretched bus, because they thought so many people would use it, and there's fucking, like, 2 people on it.
Well, probably a good idea that they have it if people aren't used to it there. Right?
Yeah, but, I mean, they've been active now for, like, I think 2.5 years, like, about. You would... Oh, fucking... They need to fucking stop fucking taking grandma's fucking station wagon. Fucking... Grandma's station wagon has dubs and fucking a sound system.
In Indy, we used to have something like the L. It was an elevated tram line
Okay.
that went through all of the hospitals downtown and through IUPUI campus as well.
Did they rip it up?
They stopped using it because the hospitals were the ones that were responsible for it and the maintenance, and they didn't want to pay for it anymore. Even though everybody used it all the fucking time, they didn't want to pay for it, so they just shut it down.
Oh, okay.
They promised me they'd be
I
back
wonder
by
what
now.
that, like, costs as far as,
Oh.
like, the elevated
You're that
fucking,
former soldier, aren't
transit,
you?
like...
Oh, this one was all
Yeah, was
electric,
it?
so it was
Former soldier turned
relatively
problem
cost-friendly
Self-
to keep up.
self-sustaining for,
Yeah,
yeah,
I am pretty upset.
just
The kids are still
fucking
off doing
maintenance.
patrols, even though it's
I
now
would
time for their
imagine.
lessons.
Just
Not a
random
single one of them
maintenance.
has come back
But,
yet.
fuck, man, like...
Patrols?
Well,
Is that a legal
I would
thing?
imagine that...
Something they do
See,
to
like,
help
that's the
out?
thing with electric
right.
cars, at least,
In
is
return for the donations
they're not
we
cheap.
receive, the kids go around town picking up litter,
Oh, yeah.
running errands, that kind
And
of
there's a
thing.
bunch of them.
I don't
there's a
suppose
bunch
you've
of
seen
them.
any of them, have you? You see, I have some important plans this evening,
Mhm.
and I really need to go and get ready.
Would you like us to go round them up?
That would be wonderful.
I think the technology's almost there, but it's not
They
matured
all
yet.
wear homemade
as
swords
far
on their
as,
backs, so they should be easy to
I
spot.
wouldn't buy an electric car just yet. But it's getting there. It's getting there.
One boy
like,
patrols near some concrete pipes. One girl likes to do her patrols in public areas with
No,
lots of people.
they have the new
One
one
boy
that's like
spends most of his
40.
time checking out the
Was
shops.
that the Model 3 or
One
whatever?
girl loves to be fussed over by folks at the community
I think
center.
that's the Model
One boy likes to stand guard.
No, it's like a regular size sedan.